Hello all of you awesome people out there, and welcome back to another super awesome and mega wicked cool video done by myself, a Disowned hero. And in this video we're going to be going over how you can use DScan more efficiently to 1. Help protect yourselves, and 2. Go hunting. Now for the demonstration purposes I'm going to be using my Pacifier here, which is an absolutely brilliant chip. I've only been using it for about a week, but I'm completely loving it. It's got the Masters at Arms skin on it as well, which looks delicious. Got flashy lights and all sorts going on. Quick look at the fit, even though it's not too important. We'll be going into wormhole space, so we'll have a Sister's Core probe launcher, got the Covert cloaking device, some particle accelerator majiggies going on up there. Lots of nice things all around here. To be honest, none of this is really important, so we'll have the fit linked in the description down below though if you do want to check it out. Now before we actually undock and get going, I'd like to say there's a lot of cool stuff going on in this channel at the moment. It's going to start live streaming again. There's lots of how-to videos for EVE Online, and I'm going to start playing some other games as well. So if you're interested in any videos such as this one, then consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification to stay up to date with everything we do. So enough said about that, let's undock and I'll be back once I'm in my wormhole. And here we are in our wormhole. I'm currently at a safe. I've bookmarked the exit so I know how to get out. And I've also scanned down all of the anomalies and stuff in this system. So I'm just going to start dragging a few windows over here so you can see exactly what I'm looking at. Now I play on 2 screens, so it's quite easy for me to have all this stuff just kind of thrown over to my second screen. But I didn't always used to use 2 screens, so it is possible to kind of get this, you know, small and dotted around the outskirts. So something like that, so you can still kind of see what you're doing as well as having all this information available. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go around each of these windows, show you how they can be customized a little bit and roughly how they work, and then we'll get into actually using them. So to start with, we'll do the probe scanner window. Now at the moment I'm using the core scanner probe so I can scan down anomalies, and I've got them all here. We have a little filtered button at the top, and from here we can actually select what we want to see and what we don't want to see. So I've currently got anomalies and cosmic signatures on show. If I didn't want to see, say, the anomalies, I'd simply click it, get rid of the check in the box, and they disappear. Click it again and they all come back. The rest of these you need combat probes for. Get my words out. Combat probes for example, if you want to get ships, you need the combat probes, drones, combat probes, which I don't have with me. So that's pretty much it. Using this should be quite straightforward. You launch your probes, you use the map here to get the probes around what you want to scan down, hit launch, and off they go. Now, this is the map for the probe launch scanner window. Basically, you want to hit this button here to bring it up, and also hit it again to get rid of it. And this is going to basically show us a little overview of the whole system, what we've scanned down, and also a few other bits and pieces. You can change what you can see on this little map by going to the markers button at the top here and simply selecting, you know, what you want to see and what you don't want to be able to see. So if I hit moons, for example, you'll see a load of little dings pop up, and now all the moons are on show. Click them again to get rid of them. I don't like to have everything open. I think by default these are all checked, but you'll find trying to select, like, say, this site here, you'll be clicking it and you'll accidentally select the moon. You'll be focusing on the wrong thing. So I get rid of kind of what I don't need. These 2 buttons, all these do is these help with the scanning. You can go to the sides, to the top, you know, almost instantly. The most important one, which we're going to be doing today, is the directional scanner. Excuse me. This is quite straightforward to use. Basically, you've got a range bar at the bottom here, and this is how far out you want to scan. We can set it as low as 0 and as high as 14.3, and it's fully customizable. I can even go to like 9.3 if I wanted, or 9.5 by simply typing it in there. But to be honest, most of the time you'll just use the slide bar to go from like 14, 10, 5, 1, and 0. At the bottom we've got an angle. Now this is really, really important, especially when you're looking for other players. 360 is the default, and basically if I click this button up here, it's going to show exactly where I'm scanning on the map here. So this orb is the radius in which I can scan, so that is a full 14.3 AUs from me. Where am I? There I am there. And yeah, hit and scan makes that thing kind of jiggle, and it scans away. If I reduce it down, you can see that sphere gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and every time you adjust this, as long as you give it a second or 2 in between, it'll automatically scan as well. If I do it too quick, like bigger, it won't actually scan and scan and scan. The angle though, this is where it comes really kind of, well, fun, to be honest. I enjoy scanning things down, even though it sounds a bit weird. At the moment we're doing 360, so we're scanning all the way around us. If we were hunting for someone, this isn't really ideal. So what we can do is we can actually scan in a certain direction. So if we reduce it down to, say, 90 degrees, you can see the sphere has now gone to a cone, and basically we're scanning from our ship forwards within that cone. And we can move that cone around by simply clicking on different things. So if I select this, you can see the cone's moved. If I select this, cone's moved again, cone's moved. Not so much for that one. There we go, but they're moving for these ones. See, that one's directly behind us. So yeah, that's really, really handy, but we'll cover more of that later on. You do have filters here as well. I have mine set to my combat. Now you can use your overview filters here. So combat for me is ideal. It's going to show me everything I have in here, which includes basically every type of enemy ship you can think of. So that will appear on my DScan, except for NPCs. I don't have NPCs set to show. We have align with camera as well. So now you can see that if I move my screen around, keep my mouse on the screen actually, if I move the screen around, then that cone is moving with me. Now this becomes again handy because I can't actually select these to look at them. Even if I align to one of them, you see the scan probe actually doesn't move. Even if I uncheck the align with camera, select this, align to, it doesn't actually move. So when it comes to scanning these things down or descanning these things, you need to actually hit this button here, align it with camera, and move your ship around to actually point at to what you want to be scanning down. So that's how these things, I need that back actually, why did I just close that? So that's how these things work. Let's first cover what I would do if I'm, say, sitting in a site, mining away, maybe getting gas, maybe doing a relic site. You know, what I would be looking for on DScan in order to help defend myself. Okay, so using the DScan defensively, what I've done here is I've warped to a Upwell moon mining beacon, and we're just going to pretend that this is like a relic site, or maybe it's an asteroid belt or something, and I'm happy doing whatever it is I'm doing, and I just want to check to make sure nothing's coming in to get me. So what I'll have is simply just the DScan open. There's no need to have any of the other windows open. Have it set to the maximum AU, which is 14.3, and have it set to an angle of 360, because I don't care what angle they're coming in at. I just want to know if they are actually coming in. All I do is simply hit scan every now and then, or, well, I prefer to hit V, which is the keyboard shortcut for scanning, by the way. It's a lot easier for me anyway. Just hit scan every now and then, just like I'm doing now, every few seconds. Maybe if you're doing a relic site, you'll 1, 2, 3 nodes, scan, do another 3 nodes, scan. And basically what I'm looking for is anything popping up here. If I see like a Raven, Caracal, I don't know, Arbitrator, it could be absolutely any combat ship. If I see one of them popping up, then basically I'm going to be instantly jumping down to, say, 5 AU. And I'm going to be scanning at 5 AU, maybe 20 seconds. And if you see him on 5 AU, I'm like, okay, he's probably coming towards me. He could be just passing, but he's probably coming towards me. So at this point, I might be getting ready to warp out. I'll then go down to 1 AU, and if I see him on 1 AU, that's my ticket out of there. Unless I'm combat fit and I'm actually waiting for someone to come in. So no, 1 AU, I'm like, okay, that's enough. He's getting too close now. I am off. Now, sometimes you'll be sitting there, you'll get to a relic site, and you'll see, so there was already a Drake on scan. He's been sitting there since you've been in the system, and you're not really too worried about him. So what you'll do is, he could be sitting at, say, 10 AU. I'll simply still have it at 14.3 AU, but every 2 or 3 scans, so I'll be scanning, click, click, click for the relic site, scan again, click, click, click for the relic site. I might just flick it down to, say, 5, to below what I'm currently finding him at, and then scan and be like, okay, he's not coming in, he's still sitting at 10, back up to 14, yeah, he's still there. Scan, 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 go back down to 10, yeah, he's not coming closer, and just keep going like that. So when using DScan, there's actually a few ships you need to take note of. Things which use cloaks, such as my Pacifier here, an Astero, Stratios, anything like that, which can warp around cloaked, cannot be picked up by your DScan until they uncloak. And usually they will not uncloak until they're literally sitting right on top here. Another type of ship which is not picked up is the combat recon ships, such as the Curse, the Rook, things like that. Every race has one. They actually have a roll bonus of not being detected by DScan whatsoever, even without a cloak. So again, you won't know they're there until they land right on top of you. Now what you can do if you're being super cautious is bring an expanded probe launcher with you with combat probes and have them spread out throughout the system in like a wide formation, and just rescan using them every now and then to see if those ships are actually in the system. But again, they will not pick up anything cloaked. So that's pretty much it for trying to keep yourself safe, you know, whilst running sites. You just need to keep on top of this, scanning away, scanning away, scanning away, and hope that by the time you see something on here, you can warp out. Now I say hope because, for example, this Pacifier I'm in right now can warp at 10 AU a second, so by the time you see it at 14 and then flick down to 5 and go, okay, he's at 5, I'm pretty much landing right on top of you. So you do need to be quick sometimes. As soon as you see it, make a decision, are you getting out or are you staying in, and go from there. So yeah, that's the defensive kind of side done. Let's move next on to actually hunting things down. Alright, so you've jumped into a wormhole, low sec, null sec, with the idea of actually finding someone to destroy. Now, DScan obviously can be used to find people, as well as just seeing if they're coming to find you. So what we need for this is the probe scanner. We also need the probe scanner map, or at least this is what I do. I'm not saying this is the ultimate perfect way, it's just how I seem to look for people, and most of the time it works. Just gonna make that a bit smaller so we can also see other things as well. And we also need the DScan, directional scan as well. So we'll leave that down there. So I've warped into a system, I've created a safe, I'm back on my safe here. And I want to start looking for people. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to hit this here so I can actually see exactly where in the system I'm scanning. If you do want to focus on yourself, by the way, because it tends to focus on the sun when you first open it, simply hit this button here and it'll jump straight over to you. So I'm scanning here, so basically there's nothing here I really want to scan. I've come in, I've found my safe, I've hit scan. The only thing within scan radius is one planet, maybe a few moons around that planet, and a wormhole. What I actually want to do is I want to get to these. This is why I have all of these on show and why I think this map is really handy. So I want to scan all these down. So what I need to do is simply pick something which will be within radius of everything. So quite simply, they all seem to be around the sun. So I'll simply click the sun and I'll warp to that at 100. It's never worth actually warping to these sites because all you're going to do is you're going to activate them. And if they have NPCs that come in, or maybe they only last for a limited amount of time, you're simply going to be waiting for someone to warp in to run these to find out they're actually despawning before anyone arrives. So we'll simply warp in. As you can see, my sphere is now around everything, so I can hit scan and see if anything appears on scan. Now, nothing has actually appeared here, and to be honest, we don't even have anything else I can warp off to show you to note that again. But one thing to note now is we can't see this wormhole, so if anything comes in, we can't see it. So let's say we did actually see something, and it was, how far away are these? We've got quite a few. Let's say we'll go for this one here. Say something's popped up on DScan. We're at our optimal here, we're doing 14.3, but something's popped up and I'm like, okay, that looks quite juicy, I want to take that thing out. I'll simply start reducing it down to 10. Okay, he's still within 10. I'll go to 5. He's still within 5. I'll go to 1, and now he's gone. That ship's no longer appearing. So what I'll do is I'll go back to 5 and I'll have a look what's within range of 5. So we've got quite a few things here. There's a few basically within 2. I always round it up, so I go to 2. One here at 3, one here at 5, one here at 3. So let's say we think he's sitting, which one did I say it was? Let's say we think he's sitting here. Basically what I'll do is I'll go, okay, he's within 5. Is he within 4? And I'll simply just type in 4 there. And let's say yes, he's still within 4, which means actually he's not at this one, he must be at something else because that's over 4. So next we'll go for 3. Is he within 3? No, he's not. He's no longer within 3. So now he must be somewhere between 3 and 4 AU, which is obviously this one here. But I want to double check that he is actually here. So now I'll start reducing, because maybe there could be multiple sites or something here. There could even be things on there. I haven't even covered it, but there could also be things on your overview here. So he's within 3 and 4, and there's actually nothing on the overview within 3 and 4. But say there's like asteroid belts and stuff here as well. You need to narrow down exactly where he is. Half the time you can tell which ship he's in. If he's in like a mining ship, you would obviously go straight over here to find all the ore sites and stuff. Or maybe there's an ore site over here, and you'd kind of start off there to try and find him. But yeah, so what we need to do now is you actually need to pinpoint this location down and see if he's here. It's not even that one, is it? Yeah, it is that one because I've gone below 3 out of 9. So let's go back to 4. Yeah, so now that is within our little orb. So I think he's here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to narrow it down to say 30 or 40 degrees. I'm going to align the camera here with this map, and I'm just going to spin my camera around until, there we go, it lines up. And as you can see there, it's just faint, but you get a slight little ring around the wormhole showing that it is within DScan range. There you can see that little ring just there. So if we go over this way a bit, it's not within range. If we go up to there, it is within range. So now when I hit scan, it's only going to scan this cone and we can see if he's there. So maybe there's 3 or 4 things really, really close to each other. And again, I need to see if he's actually, which one he's at. So I'll just simply go down to, not 1 AU, sorry. I'll simply go down again to say 15 degrees, maybe even 5 degrees. And I'll do the exact same thing again. I'll spin it around. Why is that not moving around? There we go. I would simply spin it around until it's lined up with my ship like this. So I can see my ship's in the center there, I'm focused on it, and I've got that thing. There we go. It's quite hard to tell because I used to have this massive on one screen, but you can see that is well within the cone there, the little rings around it, and yeah, we're ready to go. So how I've done that then, actually you can click this thing twice. Clicking it once will move everything. See how the minimap's spinning around with this, so I'll simply align that straight through me. If I click it again, it won't move the map, it'll just move me. Should have made that a bit clearer at the beginning. I was using the wrong one. I usually have it set to moving the map as well. There we go, like that. As I said, you get the little ring around anyway to say it's within DScan range. So now I can hit scan, and I can see, yep, that ship is still there. He is at that site. Alright, so another way that this thing can be used, as you can see, everything in this system seems to be kind of grouped together in one groups, but sometimes you'll warp in to find there'll be 3 or 4 sites over here, 3 or 4 sites over here, and 3 or 4 sites over here. So what you'll do is you'll simply reduce at 360, reduce it down to say, I don't know, 5 AU, which is big enough to fit all of the sites in. And you would simply warp from one point, say this moon, so it was like a few around here, to another one, and you'd simply scan down just the sites around you rather than scanning the entire system. Now that can be handy, for especially if you've got multiple wormholes and stuff. If you want to warp to this wormhole and see if there's anyone coming in, you hit scan, you go, okay, there is someone within 14. Well, you don't know if he's at this one or if he's actually at this one over here. So reducing it down to just cover the actual anomalies or sites you want to cover, so it can help out a lot. Alright, so one thing I've actually skimmed over, I've covered the probe scanner and this little map window and the DScan obviously, is I've completely skimmed over the overview. This is extremely helpful. It comes in very handy if you're in faction warfare space, because everything you need to scan down will appear on here. So let's just say, I don't know, these are all asteroid belts, or half of them are asteroid belts, and there's a miner showing up on my DScan. I'm at 14 maximum AU, I'm at 360, and there's about 7 or 8 different belts around me. Say he's within 5, so he's got all of these here. He could be hiding out if they were all belts. Now, unlike having to scan these things down where we have to move the camera around and line it up ourselves, as long as we have auto tracking enabled down here, simply right click this one, toggle auto tracking. Now it's not, it's like a free orbit and spinning camera. So if I click on something, you see the camera does not automatically point to it. If you have that set to, it does, it's a little square. When we click on these, it'll automatically spin the camera around to look at them. That's really, really handy when we actually narrow this thing down to say 30. It will automatically point the cone at what we're clicking on there next to each other. There we go, see how it spun around there? I didn't even have to move anything, I simply just clicked. Is there something there? Scan it down. No, he's not at that one. Is he at this one? Scan it down. No, he's not at that one. Is he at this one? Scan it down. There he is. Now I see the little circles obviously do appear still up here, so it's kind of handy to have this map open anyway to make sure you're covering what you want to be covering. It also helps, say you scan it down and go, okay, yeah, I've clicked on this one, he must be at this one. You can also see if maybe you've caught something else in your cone. So it could actually be here, but because you've purposely clicked on this one and not noticed that you've actually got 2, say these are both all sites, you've got 2 all sites selected, you'll warp here, uncloaked, or I would uncloak before, well, when I got close anyway, I'd uncloak. You've warped in, you've uncloaked, you've gone, oh, actually, no, he's not here. Let's give him time to see you on DScan and to get out of there. So it's always good to see exactly what you actually have in your little scan cone. And again, we can just go as small as we want here, or as large as we want. The smaller is actually better, especially if you're using it overview. It's really easy to go small. Just go to 5, click on it, scan. And you go to this one, it's not there, click on it, scan. And as you can see now, we're not actually catching any, even though these two are really, really close to each other, like within a straight line, we're not catching this second one. So now we know he's definitely at that one there. Alright, so that's how I used the DScan. Now I didn't actually have bullet points or anything set out for this one, maybe I should have. But I think I've covered everything. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments down below. I'll do my best to get back to you. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching. If you did like this video, hit the subscribe button down below to get other videos just like this one, tips and tricks and stuff on EVE Online. Hit that like button if you did like this video. And as always, I'll see you right here very soon in another video. Bye-bye. And it is the frigate in the Concorde ship lineup. It's the Pacifier, and to me it looks absolutely stunning. I've wanted to fly this for a while, surely just because it looks brilliant. I mean, the blue and the white looks awesome, and yeah, to me it just looks like an absolutely fabulous ship. Now I did have a quick look on a few forums to see exactly what this thing can be used for and how I should be fitting it, and unfortunately a lot of people